Wait a minute, let's go back a day.
Okay.
You didn't want us to do anything on the bike.
No. This was supposed to be a 3-day fab.
Hey, wait a minute. So we're trying.
Every time I come out here, Vinny's doing a job and you're holding his hand.
American chopper turned Paul Teutul Senior, Paul Jr., and the Orange County Choppers team into reality television legends, thrilling audiences with jaw-dropping custom bikes and explosive father-son clashes. But behind the cameras, chaos reigned. Bankruptcy filings, brutal lawsuits, and shattered family bonds exposed the harsh reality masked by fame and fortune. Where did the cameras leave them? Who rebuilt, who vanished, and who remains haunted by the empire they helped create? Today, we uncover the tragedy behind the American chopper cast and reveal where they really are now. From television icon to financial freefall, Paul Teutul Senior, the fiery and larger-than-life patriarch of Orange County Choppers, was once a household name, a man who commanded the screen and captivated audiences across the globe. On television, he was unstoppable, crafting jaw-dropping million-dollar custom motorcycles with confidence, flair, and a swagger that made viewers sit forward in their seats. Every bike told a story, every build felt monumental, and every heated exchange with his son, Paul Jr., became must-see TV. But behind the flashing cameras, the reality was far less glamorous. By 2018, the empire that had dazzled millions was beginning to crumble. Paul Sr. found himself staring at $1,070,000 in liabilities against assets of $1,800,000. A precarious balance that left him teetering on the edge of financial ruin. His famed Montgomery mansion, the very building that had become an icon of Orange County choppers, was heading toward foreclosure. The grandeur and luxury that fans had assumed were markers of wealth were largely illusions. Inside the home, Paul's personal possessions were strikingly sparse. 3 loyal dogs, a few worn pistols, and a desktop computer valued at $25. The empire that had seemed invincible, commanding attention and admiration worldwide, was on paper almost worthless. The collapse was not confined to numbers alone. The drama spilled into courtrooms, exposing cracks in both business and character. During a tense mediation over unpaid work on a Corvette, Paul Sr., frustrated and visibly agitated, had to be escorted out by security officers, an image that contrasted sharply with the confident TV persona fans had grown to love. Lawsuits piled up, accusing him of misusing investor funds, stalling production schedules, and diverting money to unauthorized payments. His legal team defended him vigorously, insisting he had done nothing wrong. Yet the public watched as a man who had once commanded admiration now unraveled before their eyes. In the aftermath, Paul Sr. sought a fresh start. Relocating to Florida, he opened the OCC Roadhouse and Museum, a place where he could continue building bikes, share his passion with fans, and preserve a piece of the legacy he had created. While he occasionally teases new television projects, the empire he once ruled, built on fame, spectacle, and seemingly endless opportunities, has vanished. The lesson left behind is stark and unmissable. No amount of television fame, charisma, or public adoration can shield anyone from financial collapse. Even the largest empires can fall, and behind the roaring engines, the bright lights, and the thunder of applause lies the sobering reality few ever see. Courtroom drama and financial crisis marked the fall of Paul Teutul Senior, the fiery patriarch who built the multi-million-dollar American choppers empire that once dominated primetime television and captivated audiences worldwide. But was he alone in this downfall? What became of his son, Paul Jr., the creative force behind the iconic bikes? Let's find out. The tragedy of Paul Teutul Jr. Paul Teutul Jr., the creative force behind some of Orange County Chopper's most breathtaking bikes, seemed destined for greatness from the moment he picked up his first welder. Known for his bold designs and precision craftsmanship, Junior became the face of innovation at the family business, creating machines that weren't just motorcycles, they were rolling works of art. Yet, behind the cameras, fame and talent couldn't shield him from the harsh realities of family, business, and fortune. In 2008, the unthinkable happened. A very public clash with his father, Paul Senior, erupted on national television. The argument wasn't just dramatic, it reshaped Junior's entire life. He was abruptly fired from the company he helped build, and the blow didn't stop at losing his job. When told his 20% stake in Orange County Choppers was worthless, Junior felt the sting of betrayal and injustice. It was a moment that fractured trust, strained family bonds, and transformed the company from a shared dream into a legal battlefield where contracts and court filings replaced conversation and collaboration. Refusing to let failure dictate his future, Paul Jr. courageously fought to reclaim his rightful share of the company, taking his case to court. After a tense legal battle, he won an appeal, restoring his 20% ownership. But the victory came with a heavy price: fractured family bonds, damaged trust, and deep emotional scars. Beyond legal triumph, he now faced an even greater challenge: rebuilding his career, regaining his reputation, and proving to the world that setbacks could not stop his relentless drive. By 2009, Paul Jr. Designs was born, a venture that allowed him to take full control of his creativity. The company quickly became a high-end powerhouse, designing bikes for luxury brands like Mercedes-Benz and Cadillac, creating custom pieces for Microsoft, and even lending its talents to projects in film and video games. Yet even with undeniable skill and a loyal following, television fame could not insulate him from the collapse of the broader custom motorcycle market. Orders dwindled, clients disappeared, and by 2018, he too faced the bitter reality of bankruptcy. Unlike many stories of reckless spending or mismanagement, Junior's financial struggles were the result of market forces beyond his control. A harsh reminder that passion alone doesn't always guarantee security. But Paul Jr.'s story didn't end in defeat. With resilience and determination, he reinvented himself once again. Branching into electric bikes with rough cycles, he brought his signature style to a new generation of riders. He launched a podcast, authored a book, and continues to judge bike competitions, inspiring young designers and builders worldwide. His journey illustrates that tragedy can reshape a path without defining it entirely. The man who once fell so publicly has proven that creativity, grit, and reinvention can turn even the deepest setbacks into new beginnings. Paul Jr.'s story is one of rise and fall, marked by a bitter split from his father, struggles to rebuild, and the loss of major clients that eventually led to bankruptcy. But what does American Chopper truly represent? Was it a tale of inevitable downfall or a hugely successful show? Now, let's explore the series that reshaped reality television forever. American Chopper. American Chopper wasn't just another reality TV show. It became a cultural phenomenon that reshaped how audiences viewed television, fame, and the adrenaline-fueled world of custom motorcycles. Premiering in 2003 on the Discovery Channel, it arrived before reality TV had fully matured, long before shows like Deadliest Catch dominated screens. Viewers were drawn into a unique mix of raw creativity, high-stakes engineering, and intense family drama, unlike anything seen before. At the center was Orange County Choppers, a New York-based workshop where art, innovation, and risk intertwined. Every bike told a story, every build carried tension, and every clash between Paul Senior and Paul Jr. kept audiences riveted, making the shop and its people television legends. Fans were hooked from the very first episode. Each week felt like a backstage pass into the making of bold, custom-built choppers that pushed imagination to its limits. Some bikes emerged as rolling masterpieces, polished and stunning, while others turned into awkward machines that looked barely roadworthy. But the real spark wasn't just metal and engines. It was the explosive bond between Paul Teutul Senior, the loud, intense boss, and Paul Teutul Jr., the calm but stubborn creative mind. Their constant clashes over designs, deadlines, and control fueled unforgettable moments. Shouting matches, slammed tools, and raw emotion filled the shop, creating drama that felt real, messy, and completely addictive. The show struck gold by blending raw creativity with constant conflict, and audiences couldn't look away. By 2007, American Chopper had exploded into a full-blown cultural force. Its move to TLC only amplified its reach, with non-stop marathons that turned the series into appointment television. Spin-offs like American Chopper, Senior versus Junior pushed the drama even further, transforming real family tensions into national talking points. What truly hooked viewers wasn't just the roaring engines or custom bikes, but the human stories behind them. Fans followed the Teutul's clashing personalities, shared in their victories, and felt the weight of their failures, making the show deeply personal and unforgettable. For almost 10 years, American Chopper turned its stars into household names. Paul Senior became the face of fiery passion and unyielding determination, while Paul Jr., the young prodigy, faced constant pressure from family conflicts and life's challenges. Behind the flash, drama, and roaring engines, the empire they built was fragile, its foundations quietly cracking. Television fame hid mounting business problems, strained family bonds, and looming financial troubles. What began as a thrilling show about custom motorcycles and jaw-dropping builds gradually revealed a deeper human story, a tale of ambition, pride, and the hidden, often painful costs that come with fame and success. Though American Chopper did more than entertain, it set a new standard for reality television, transforming a small motorcycle shop into a global icon. But what became of the other cast members? Did they suffer devastating setbacks they could not overcome? Or did they redefine their purpose and find success afterward? Let's uncover the astonishing details. The quiet mediator and master of reinvention. Mikey Teutul may not have been the face of Orange County Choppers on television, but behind the scenes, he played a crucial and often thankless role. Unlike his father, Paul Senior, who commanded cameras, or his brother, Paul Jr., whose designs stole the spotlight, Mikey was the calm in the storm, a mediator, peacemaker, and problem solver within the family-run shop. He rarely built the million-dollar choppers that captivated audiences, yet he carried the weight of family disputes, often stepping in to ease the explosive arguments between father and son. Off-screen, Mikey's life was far from serene. Personal challenges compounded the already intense pressure of working within a world-famous brand. Alcohol struggles forced him to confront demons that could no longer be ignored, ultimately leading him to rehab. Financial setbacks added another layer of stress. Mikey had invested in his own home, only to suffer a $90,000 loss on the sale. A harsh reminder that even those not in the public eye were not immune to the collapse of the family empire. Watching the business he grew up around crumble while navigating his own personal struggles could have crushed anyone. Mikey's story goes beyond loss. It's a journey of resilience, creativity, and personal reinvention. Instead of letting setbacks define him, he forged a new path, taking control of his life and shaping it on his own terms. He opened an art gallery, a vibrant space where his artistic vision could thrive, free from the pressures of family drama and TV cameras. Beyond visual art, Mikey launched a podcast, creating a platform to share stories, insights, and humor in his own voice. Through these ventures, he transformed personal struggles into opportunities, proving that even after chaos, reinvention, and self-expression can lead to a fulfilling and inspiring life. Mikey Teutul's journey of reinvention didn't stop at recovery. It took on a distinctly entrepreneurial flair. Channeling his energy and creativity, he began making and selling homemade pasta sauces, transforming a simple hobby into a thriving small business. Beyond the kitchen, Mikey embraced the digital world, sharing videos and creative projects on YouTube. Through this platform, fans glimpsed a different side of the Teutul family, one rooted in imagination, humor, and personal expression. No longer just the quiet mediator, Mikey showcased resilience, artistry, and the power of turning passion into purpose. What Mikey's journey underscores is that tragedy isn't always about money, fame, or public scandal. Sometimes it is about survival, about reclaiming your life from chaos, and about finding ways to rebuild after the storm has passed. His story is quieter than the explosive fights that made headlines, but it is no less remarkable. Through persistence, creativity, and reinvention, Mikey Teutul demonstrates that even in the shadows of a collapsing empire, it is possible to reclaim purpose, passion, and personal fulfillment. Proof that resilience can be as inspiring as fame itself. Alcohol problems forced Mikey into rehab, and he also lost a significant amount of money in a house sale, but he later found his own path through a YouTube channel. But were there cast members who escaped the downfall? And what made their stories less devastating? Now, let's delve into how the peripheral cast escaped the chaos and rebuilt their lives. Out of the spotlight. While the Teutuls and the central figures of Orange County Choppers faced bankruptcy, legal battles, and personal turmoil, not every cast member was dragged into the eye of the storm. For some, survival came down to one simple but crucial factor: staying far enough from the cameras and the family drama to avoid absorbing the full force of the collapse. Their stories reveal how knowing when to step back, walk away, or redirect your focus can make the difference between disaster and rebuilding. Take Rick Petco, for example. For over a decade, he endured a grueling 3-hour daily commute, traveling 5 days a week just to show up at Orange County Choppers and craft some of the most memorable custom bikes on television. By 2016, after 13 years of relentless dedication, Rick made a bold choice. He walked away to prioritize his family and personal life. Distance became liberation. Today, Rick runs his own business, RPD & Company, producing custom knives and handcrafted wedding bands. He also travels to motorcycle shows across the country, but this time on his own terms, setting his own schedule and enjoying the creative freedom that the television spotlight never allowed. Vinny DiMartino made a similar move in 2007. Tired of the constant tension and restrictions, he left OCC to co-found V-Force Customs alongside fellow alumnus Cody Connolly. Though that venture ultimately had its own ups and downs, Vinny later transitioned to DM Martino Motorsports, focusing on car, bike, and light truck repair. He even continues occasional collaborations with Paul Jr., proving that leaving the chaos behind didn't mean leaving the craft. Cody Connolly's story followed another path. Once embroiled in legal disputes over the use of his image on merchandise, he eventually turned away from custom motorcycles entirely. Connolly founded Revel Ranch Excavation, a demolition and excavation business in upstate New York, leaving the television fame behind to build a stable, private, and successful life outside the industry. Then there's Jason Pohl, the lead designer at OCC, who endured both public criticism and creative clashes with Paul Senior. While he faced intense scrutiny on camera, he leveraged his talent and experience into a new chapter. Pohl became a SolidWorks brand ambassador, sharing his expertise with designers worldwide, and launched his own design company, applying the lessons learned in the spotlight to projects far beyond motorcycles. The common thread among these cast members is clear. Distance saved them. By staying on the periphery, away from the cameras, family disputes, and financial chaos, they were able to rebuild quietly, preserve their creativity, and regain control over their lives. In the story of American Chopper, proximity to the spotlight often meant absorbing the most damage, while those who wisely stepped back survived and thrived in ways the audience rarely saw. The cast members who were not close family relatives of Paul Teutul faced far less devastating outcomes and endured little to no struggle compared to the Teutuls themselves. But what lessons remain for American Chopper fans long after the show faded from the spotlight? Let's find out. The Fragile Empire. The true tragedy of Orange County Choppers went far beyond personal struggles. It was built into the very system of the empire. For years, the company thrived on the dazzling spotlight of television, where drama, fiery arguments, and jaw-dropping custom motorcycles captivated audiences nationwide. Fans watched in awe as million-dollar choppers came to life. But behind the cameras, the operation was fragile. The business depended almost entirely on fluctuating TV revenue, a lifeline that could disappear overnight. Massive properties, elaborate workshops, and high overheads made the empire look powerful and unstoppable on screen. Yet in reality, it teetered on the edge of collapse, a delicate structure hiding vulnerability beneath the spectacle. The original Orange County Choppers headquarters, an astonishing $13 million facility, was more a theatrical stage than a practical workplace. Towering ceilings, museum-like displays, and expansive showrooms wowed visitors and fans alike. But every square foot came with an immense cost. Taxes, payroll, utilities, and operational expenses piled up month after month, while the financial lifeblood of television contracts and sponsorships ebbed and flowed unpredictably. When the Discovery Channel checks arrived, the empire flourished. When they didn't, the cracks began to show. By 2011, unable to sustain the costs, the company surrendered its iconic headquarters to avoid foreclosure, a symbolic end to the dream that had once seemed untouchable. By 2018, Orange County Choppers was drowning in bankruptcy filings, lawsuits, and endless disputes with creditors. The fame and fan admiration that once fueled the company now only highlighted its failures. When the cameras stopped rolling, the empire crumbled almost overnight. Cast members scattered, some quietly rebuilt businesses and lives away from the spotlight, others clawed back success, and a few disappeared entirely from the scene they once ruled. This chaos wasn't caused by one mistake, but by a fragile business built on high overheads, flashy television deals, and unsustainable operations, a house of cards that could not survive without constant media attention. Looking back, American Chopper is far more than a tale of custom motorcycles and fiery father-son clashes. It is a striking cautionary story about fame, success, and the illusions they create. Television can turn a small workshop into a global icon, making it seem unstoppable, yet it can also hide cracks in the foundation. For Orange County Choppers, the glitz of reality TV masked a fragile empire built on spectacle, big overhead, and risky expansion. When the cameras stopped rolling and the spotlight faded, the consequences hit hard. Those who thrived in the drama and fame faced financial ruin, while the cautious, peripheral cast members who kept their distance weathered the storm far better. In the end, the legacy of Orange County Choppers is bittersweet. Its bikes remain iconic, its television moments unforgettable, but the empire that produced them was never built to last. Behind the glitz and roar of engines lay a hard truth. No amount of fame or televised glory can protect a business from the crushing weight of real-world economics. And when the cameras stopped, the illusion ended, leaving only lessons, losses, and lives forever changed. So, what do you think about the tragedy surrounding the American Chopper cast? Could they ever reunite to build something stronger? We would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe.